Okay guys, in the last video I showed you how to empty a live tank, how to do all the foam placement and all of that. Today we're doing sealant. But before we do that, you may notice I'm holding a knife. What we need to do is remove any foam that shouldn't be in the place where it's at. So for example, here is where I want a planter to be, and it is actually a pot in there ready for the plant, but the foam obviously expands and sort of takes over the entrance of that pot. So I'm going to cut through and remove that foam. I'm also going to do the same for around the top. So obviously the lid can't fit on like this. This is much easier if you have it downwards. Don't do what I'm doing, which is going towards yourself. And if you're young and you need help from a parent or guardian, go and ask them. There's no wrong in asking for help, because this can be difficult sometimes. So I'm going to cut this off. As you can see, the foam is nice and set. And do you know what? I'm going to lean this over and cut it a much easier way than this, because I'll probably cut it wonky here. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to empty out another plant pot, just make a few little adjustments to the design. Okay, so I put the lid on, as you can see it all fits now, so that's good. I'll quickly show you a secret area in this tank that I'm sure Isla's going to use unless I block it off. I'm still debating whether or not to. So you see this bit of cork here? If you look around the back, there's actually no foam behind a good part of the cork, and if you look just here, my whole hand nearly can fit up there. So Isla's definitely going to like fit under there, so I'm still debating whether or not I can block it off, whether I even be able to. It's going to be a bit of a pain to do all the sealant. Also, like in these gaps here are going to be annoying to do the sealant, but it's going to be a bit of a tricky task. But let's get the sealant. Now for the sealant. So in the last natural terrarium build I made, I used black sealant, and although that was totally fine, I did notice in certain places where EcoEarth has dropped off a lot more, maybe because my Gecko uses those certain areas a lot more, you can sort of see the black sealant. So I thought if I try brown, I wonder if that will look any better, even if the EcoEarth comes off. Now there is a section I've already started, and that's where there was literally no foam on the background, so I put a whole load of black sealant because I had some left over from the last tank build, and I put quite a thick layer down and put some EcoEarth on it. I'll probably go over that area again though, because it is a little bit thin. The EcoEarth seems to be kind of damp, even though it's been out of the tank for over a week now, so it's not sticking too well, but maybe today it will actually work. So I finally got the sealant part over and done with. I literally hate that part of the build. It's so boring and time consuming. I think a week has passed since I last spoke in this video. That's how long I've been doing the sealant. And in all fairness, it probably won't take you that long. I was kind of procrastinating a lot, and I do a section and put dirt on it, and then I leave it overnight. So I wasn't speeding it up too much, but I really wanted to get it done because I don't like Isla being in the container she's in. Like, there's plenty of room, and every evening I get her out and put her on her snake plant and she hangs out and has food and everything. But I would prefer her to move in, so I made sure it was done. As you saw at the end of the time lapse, I also added on moss. So this is what I did in the last tank, and a few people asked me whether that will just kill the moss, but it doesn't, because on the back of this moss is carpet moss. I believe it's all compressed together, like it's so easy to put on together, but I think it's fine because I put it in my other tank, and although the moss isn't as green as it is here, I have noticed parts of it has started to grow new moss, so I think it's fine. It might fade, it's very green at the moment, but yeah, that is the whole sealant process finally done. I've moved this back into my room where it is going to be. I put lots of moss at the bottom because I know up to the point where the moss starts, it's probably going to be covered in dirt anyway, so you're not going to see like along the bottom and everything. But I am very happy, and compared to what it looked like before, I think it looks much better. So when I was going to do my first natural tank with the original foam background, I did look at different backgrounds that you could use that already had planters in them, but they were like rubber, they were really, really expensive, and you had to cut them down and everything, and I just think this way round is so much better. You just buy your own foam. Like, the foam can be expensive depending on where you live. Like, if you get it from Josh's Frogs, if you're from the US, you're so lucky because it's so cheap, but it costs too much to ship here. So it can be expensive, but the great thing is, if you're trying to recreate nature, nature isn't perfect. So you can mess up all you want, but it'll still look kind of good. So if you want to go for it, go for it. Now for the drainage layer, I have to go through all of this. This is how my drainage layer looked when I used a Zoomed wire mesh drainage layer. Obviously it didn't do too well, and it collected loads of eco earth in it, so I'm not going to be using that again. I'm going to be using the Hydro Fleece, so this is going to be fun. So that took over 40 minutes to sieve dirt out of the hydro balls, and I still have some in there. It's just, oh, it took so long. I have realised I probably need another bag. This is way too thin and it doesn't even cover over there. If I move this, you see how thin it is. So it looks like we're going to have to put this on hold and wait for some hydro balls to arrive. Okay, so as you saw, I washed through all the new hydro balls. I think it's important because you do get a lot of debris from it if you don't wash them through, so I did all that. I also cut out some Hydro Fleece. Now the easiest way to do this is just draw around the top of your terrarium. Now you'll find that it's slightly larger than the floor space, but this actually works perfectly well for keeping the dirt away from the drainage layer. So I'm going to put it in, but I'm going to have to work out whether to put part of it over this bit of wood here or try to wedge it underneath. So that's going to be kind of tricky, but that's what I'm going to try to do. So there's me going, oh, this is so easy, it fits so perfectly. I should have probably taken into consideration that it will dip down and use some more material. So over here there was a slight gap. Luckily I had some material still left, so I put that over there. So now this is all done. I will be putting in the plants, but that'll be in the next video, so keep an eye out for that one. I'll actually talk you through the positioning where I'm putting plants, why I'm doing that, what plants I'm using, and so on, because I feel like that section of tank building can sometimes be skipped over, so I figured I'd help you guys out. Although, you know, I'm no expert, so if you know better, just go for it, okay? So thank you very much for watching this, guys, and goodbye.